What's good, players? Today's video. You will wait for the right time for the rest of your fucking life. Waiting for the right time. You don't think you're ready. You don't think that you're worthy enough to start yet. You need to do some other shit, or you need to learn more, or you need to blah blah blah. You need to wait till this certain amount of time passes by so you have more time, or you can't do it. You got too much going on. But you know that if you get this right, if you become successful, it could change your life forever. Change your life in ways that you wanted for such a long time that you say that you'd be willing to sacrifice, but you haven't actually sacrificed. Because you're lazy, because you don't have enough time, because you're not prepared, yada, 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 all the excuses. Man, I done seen people excuse their way out of literally, like, me personally, when I read when I can at work. When there's times that, you know what I'm saying, there's nothing going on, I pull out a book and read. I don't go on my phone, I read. And people will come up to me. I won't even ask. I'm not even going to tell somebody else to read, because if you just don't want to, you don't want to. You know what I mean? It's none of my business. But people will come up to me and say, man, I wish I could read, but I got this going on and I just never do it, or I'm just so lazy, or I'm just so busy, or but like at work, you'll see them at work and they'll be on the phone, or they'll be, you know what I'm saying, sitting down at a certain time and watching a show, or just being on their phone, being on Instagram, or just walking around when there's nothing going on, just talking to other people. But when they tell me they can't read, they making every excuse up in the book. They're making all these alibis like they're on trial. My nigga, I don't care why you think you can't read. If you wanted to, you would have just brought the book like I'm doing it. You see me doing it. We're doing the same job. We in the same department. We're doing the same thing. I'm reading a book a week. What are you doing? Making excuses on why you can't. And like, you feel me? If you don't want to do something, then you don't want to do something. But don't sit here and tell me why you can't do it. You know you can do it. Maybe you don't know, but listen, that's not even the point. What I'm trying to tell you is, when there's a will, there's a way, and that's not just a quote, that's a fact. But you gotta find that will, and that will gotta be strong. You can't be a weak-willed. You can't be a weak-willed ass motherfucker. Weak-willed motherfuckers don't make it anywhere. They try something new, you feel me? It looks promising at first. They fail. Then it doesn't look promising. Then they fail more. Then they fail some more. They think they can keep going, but they never. Is two things that'll happen. You learn. You keep going until you learn, or you just give up forever, and then you move on to the next thing, and then the cycle repeats. Everybody knows this feeling. Everybody that's tried to improve their life at some point knows the feeling of picking up a positive, productive habit, going at it, not seeing results, and giving up. But the thing is, you gotta keep going until you learn that piece of information, until you improve to the point where I got it. It clicks. It's like, boom, how did I not know this all this fucking time? But you just didn't, because you ain't have nobody to teach you. And obviously having people that around you that are successful in that field helps. But if you're just not in a situation where, you know, those people are easily accessible, you got to keep going. And you got to find a way to gain the knowledge required to succeed in whatever field you're doing. Depending, right? Like, if you're trying to start a business, you need to learn everything about that business. Even when you know everything, you don't know all the idiosyncrasies and all the shit that you need, all the information you need in your subconscious mind, to the point where it's like, I know what to do in this situation. When this happens, I know to do this automatically, just like an instinct, like, bang, nigga. But you don't know that when you first start off. You're not going to know that compared to a nigga that's been in the game for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and doing this shit all his fucking life. He knows what to do before the situation even happens. Immediately. It's like a heartbeat. Like, his brain already knows what to do, just because of practice, because of the years he's had, the experience. If you don't got the experience, you don't got enough skin in the game. But you think that you can beat a nigga that does. Like, nah, you got to put in pain, bruh. It's not supposed to be suffering all the time. It's not supposed to be painful all the time. But you're going to feel it. At a certain point, it's going to come. Because you're just not used to it. Now, granted, you can learn from others' mistakes, like I said, but we don't all have that privilege. But if you never start, you never get to find out if you will ever gain the privilege of being successful in anything, in any field. You always be like, damn, I wonder what would happen if I just stuck to this. You feel me? You ever like gone into a field and then, you know what I'm saying, looked up information about other people who were successful around that time, like let's say a few years back, and then you look today, you see how they're doing way better than they did before, and you're thinking like, damn, what if I stuck to that? What if I did what they did, just kept going? And then maybe I would have gotten a little bit better. Maybe I would have found that aha moment, that light bulb, the light at the end of the tunnel. If I just kept going and kept improving, because it's not enough to keep going. You got to keep going with a direction, with a definite plan. You got to know what you're doing. If you just aimlessly wandering in one direction, you might get there someday, maybe like 10 years. But you got to work towards it. You got to learn more. You got to expand your mind. I know I'm all saying this. All of this sounds easy, and it's, you know, easier said than done. But this takes work. You got to be day in and day out. There's gonna be shit that you don't know. You think you know everything, but you don't know, because you don't know what you don't know. But you never find that out if you never get started. If you just wait for the right time, if you just wait for the right moment. If you think the clock isn't ticking every single second of every single minute of every single hour of every single day of every single week of every single year. This shit is limited. Time is not unlimited. You only got a certain amount. And you don't know when your time is up, when the clock is going to stop ticking for you. You don't know. You will never know. None of us do. Hell, you could try to put a limit on the time that you have left. You could say that you'll yourself tomorrow, and then change your mind, and then you live for the next 50 years of your life. That could very well happen. You don't know when this shit is gonna end. So you gotta make the most of it. Act like the next minute could be your last. And I know it's hard. I know that is not feasibly possible. You can't treat your next minute like it's your last, because theoretically, then you just use all your money. You do shit that's, you know, people think you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. Listen. You have to build towards that. You're never gonna build towards that if you never start today. God damn, niggas can't drive. Every time I make a video, bro, I promise it's not me, bro. Like, you got niggas that breaking at the last second. But anywho, literally, this time shit waits for nobody, and this time shit leaves mad people behind. You don't want to be one of them people. Or maybe you do. It's time to find out.